many of us are already urbanized, as it were, and she's saying that maybe an autistic child, an autistic person, may probably thrive better or live well in rural Nigeria. Now, that is an issue I find a little bit difficult to understand. Because the cities, you have medical care, you have this, you have that, you have, like you say, GP, you have, a consultant, pediatrician to come and look at the child. But in rural Nigeria, where there's no such thing, so...
What I actually meant was, don't take your child to rural Nigeria. What I'm saying is that the food is available there. We don't have a lot of organic food. For example, I'll give you a typical example. There's a child who ran the tests, and they found he had heavy metals in his body.
Already?
Yes, and some arsenic. So he can't eat rice, which is our staple diet.
How old is this child?
He's 7. So he can't eat rice. So the only replacement for that is quinoa, which is not available in Nigeria. You have to import it or buy it in shops like La Pointe. You know it is on Kofoa Bayami.
No, we don't need to know where it is. Thank you. All right, go on. Yes, okay.
So
what other food can he eat if he cannot eat rice?
He eats quinoa, he eats lentils. You know lentils are like beans.
Yes.
Indian. He can eat all that. Then he can eat our local beans. He can't have spinach, but he can have ewedu. And then ugu with unripe plantain, boiled plantain.
So what you're saying therefore is that you need to not investigate. You need to first find out what the deficiencies are, and then look for the appropriate remedies.
Yes.
To help the child along.
Yes.
Now, but we need to have figures. We must have a baseline to know exactly how many children we'll be dealing with before you can have a concerted effort. Because what you have just spoken about is just an individual that you have dealt with. So how about the mass?
Okay, the mass. This is where government comes in. We need to have statistics. We need to go into schools, into hospitals, into homes, and gather data. That's the only way we'll know the population at large in Nigeria.
And unless we do that,
we're just
scratching
the surface. Because like I said, maybe I dealt with 200, maybe 1,000, but that's nothing. That's nothing.
Now, it's been rumored, I don't know if that's true, you may have to correct that a child is predisposed to become autistic if the parents were old when they were having the child. That, I mean, anybody over 40 or 50, if you're going to have a child, then you are probably making the child autistic. Is that true?
That is not true. Autism is a genetic, like I said, is genetic, is biological, is biochemical. So it is in the blood, just like sickle cell is.
So it has to do with the age of the parents?
No. A 20-year-old could have an autistic child.
Okay, now, another worrisome, if I may borrow that, another worrisome point would be the question that, we have maternity care around here in Africa. You have mothers coming to help the newborn and all that. Some people are already suspecting that sometimes the child becomes autistic if the after-birth care, immediate after-birth care, is just not good enough.
I wouldn't say so. It has nothing to do with the parental care or the medical care. It's just in the genes.
Yes, okay.
It's already in the...
No, but like you said, the environmental trigger that now brings it out.
Various. Like I said, the toxins, the preservatives in our drinks. It's best you give fresh juice. Juice the apple. and give the child.
Rather than go and get the
Buy,
carton one.
yes, don't buy those, because those ones, of course, are not.
Sterilized.
Yes, they're made from concentrates, and that triggers something else. The child now becomes hyperactive.
I'm worried dealing with the urban families where the mom is working, dad is working, and the children are left at the mercy of childcare or support
Caregiver.
givers, who of course may not be this informed, and you have to drop the child at a creche or somewhere, and then you just drop a carton of whatever, some juice. So how can we help ourselves?
There's an organization called Parents Against Autism Initiative. They are now beginning. In fact, they launched their this
Program or
program
initiative?
initiative last Saturday. They're beginning to talk to parents, get parents together, and create
Interact.
awareness, interact with other parents who have autistic children. So you learn from each other, because I will say one autistic child is not
The same as the next one.
yes, they differ in different areas.
Okay, but what some people tell me that autistic children are exceptionally brilliant.
Yes.
You
They-
said yes?
Yes, they have what we call savant skills. They're gifted. Now, a child could play the piano, for example, and he was never taught.
Oh, they exhibit such
Yes, they do.
proclivity,
Or
I see.
he's a brilliant artist. He was never taught.
Oh. So there's a good there's a good
There's
side.
a good side to it.
Okay, tell us a little more about the good side.
So if I were the parent, rather than try and say, you
Try and
must
copy
learn
the child,
maths,
yes.
you must learn this, you must learn that, inject music, inject swimming, inject tennis, things like that, and then you'll find out where the child thrives, strengths is, and then work in that area. Not everybody needs to go to university.
You need to say that to the parents. No. I'm saying we have this, as it were, mental disposition.
That you must go to university.
Yes, you must know, you must go to university, you must have a law degree, you must have an engineering degree, you must look at your mates. So what do we need to let our parents first understand when they are, confronted with this?
An autistic child lacks understanding. They don't understand like you and I. They don't know what you feel. They can't sense it. So it's difficult for
Trying
them.
to get through to them.
They have what we call mind blindness. I was telling, there's a child who at 2, he landed somewhere in some hotel, and he was running around, and a typical child, a 2-year-old, would see that table and avoid it, don't you think?
Yes.
But he went
Straight
smack into
the
it,
table.
and of course had a huge gash and had to have stitches. So we teach eye gaze, because they don't even look at you. They don't. I mean,
Eyeball to eyeball?
yeah. Well, they look at you, but they don't really see you. So we teach them eye gaze. Look at me. I'm lack for a word. I don't want to call a name in case someone says referring to their child. Let me use an English name. Lynn, for example. Lynn, look at me. Keep doing that, and then the child will begin to gain eye gaze.
So you really have to teach the child this thing?
Everything, almost everything. How to lace their shoes, how to use the knife and fork, how to button their shirts, everyday things.
Now, you said earlier on that this is a lifelong difficulty, as it were. Now, so at what point would you stop teaching that child so that the child can become a person, to find expression for himself or herself?
Some of them, by the age of 10, 8, 10, they're independent. They become independent. They can make their own breakfast. They can wash their own dishes. They can, they dress themselves up. But that's up to you, the parent. You have to give that time. And some schools, there are schools.
No, we're going to come to that.
Okay.
Because we have not discussed that at all.
Okay.
And that's an area I'm a little bit also worried about. Now, what we have done so far is look at what the parents are exposed to. Okay? And you have helped by letting us know that they shouldn't be discouraged.
No.
Now, but we have also, religious, hang-ups. It's demonic. It's spiritual attack. It's the grandmother's, all these things. It's peculiar to us here, and we cannot deny that fact. So what would you be saying to parents? Because some of them are just not convinced of what these things you're saying. Is gene. What is that?
Blood, from the blood. Okay. It's not demonic. So I'm sorry I'm laughing.
No, but you need to let them just understand that, yes.
It's not demonic. I know some people say, okay, let's go and pray.
Exactly.
Shouldn't we pray? There's nothing wrong with prayer. Pray. However, God has given some people the knowledge to be doctors to deal with this. So pray. I don't say don't pray. Pray. Do it. But at the same time, seek help.
Seek professional help.
Professional help. And the right one, because in this country we have a lot of people who are not qualified and they're trying to cash in on this
situation.
Yeah. Okay,
now let's come back to the formal setting, because you have talked about structured,
teaching.
Structured remedies.
Structured, yes, remedies,
remediation and things to help the child. Now, but the Nigerian schooling system, do we have any support for a child that is autistic?
We do. We have quite I can think at the top of my head, there's a place called the Learning Place Center. It's in Lekki. Then we have Patrick's, which is in Ikeja. We have...
No. You're speaking of specific.
Oh, specific.
No. I'm saying within the system itself.
Okay, like
within
the medical...
regular public school, normal private schools, I'm not talking of specifics.
Okay.
But regular educational facilities, do we have any support for a child that is diagnosed to be autistic?
I can't think of one.
That is the point I'm making. Because, therefore, many children who are autistic right now are just going through normal schooling, facing all the hassle, because the teachers are probably not even understanding their problems.
They don't know. The teachers don't know. They simply don't know.
But that's very pathetic.
Yes, that's why we have to create awareness.
Okay, so for the Autistic Week,
the
month that everybody's talking about, so what are we doing to ground this awareness, to make sure that we put it on the street level, where even educators, teachers, administrators, planners, counselors will get to the point where you are now?
I know that GTB every year. Okay, you're talking of regular.
Yes.
Government needs to come in to help.
And that is not there.
Right now, I don't think so.
So do you have like an association where some people are trying to put this across to government and government agencies?
Yes, the Parents Against Autism initiative I talked about. That's what they're trying to do.
Okay, to engage government in all this.
Yes.
But you don't know how far they have gone with it. Are you a member of it?
I am a member.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I wasn't around on Saturday to attend the launch.
So what will be the focus of this initiative?
The focus is you're not alone in this. We're here to help you. we're trying to do everything we can, you know, that's the focus. And then also trying to get government to listen.
So what is happening to these
Yes,
children and their
yeah.
parents? Okay.